Today, my guest is Steve Dunn. Steve is a proven business leader in the institutional asset management business. Prior to retiring in 2020, Steve was an executive vice president, global distribution at Cohn and Steers Capital Management, a global investment management firm headquartered in New York City with offices in London, Dublin, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. During my conversation with Steve, he told me that he absolutely enjoyed being a mentor when he was in the business. He also described his mentees who were always in the driving seat. Steve, welcome to Global Mentorship Institute and thank you for your encouragement and supporting us. I am looking forward to our discussion this morning.
I have been both a mentor and a mentee within my career. A mentor within my firm and a mentor outside my firm. And I can think back to three significant mentors who had a very significant and positive influence on my career and added real value, guidance, and advice. Let me give you an example. In 2005, when I joined Cohen and Steers, the long-term 10-year plan was to take the firm from being a US-centric to a global organization. This involved opening offices in London, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. I did not have a lot of global experience when I joined the firm, but I had peers and individuals in the industry, that is in the institutional asset management industry, who helped me. They coached me, and they talked to me about how do you open up a European presence? How do you establish brand in a region like Asia? And I leaned on these people to help me take the firm global. Mentorship also, and when I think about who I mentored actually more women than I mentored men. But it involves building trust, and confidentiality is really important because that is where mutual respect comes from. And it's very important that for the mentor to be successful, the mentee must own the opportunity. The mentee must set the agenda. The mentee must have personal and professional goals that she can communicate to the mentor. And that way they can really do deep dives into terms of what the obstacles and challenges are. And I, as the mentor, I need to be a very active listener. And that's one of the most important and best practices in a mentoring relationship. So again, throughout my career, I embraced the fact that you can't change the past. You can't look back. And in taking on roles that are a stretch, and I did so, you must learn how to fail and pick yourself up and move on. But mentoring can help guide you make better decisions and achieve your personal and professional goals.
Yeah, you're 100% right, Steve. You mentioned a couple of things there, building trust and active listening. They are key for anyone to be a great mentor. But do you agree, Steve, that they are the hardest skills to learn and practice as a mentor?
Absolutely, because you as a leader, and by the way, being a manager, you're mentoring all the time, taking risks, raising their hand and speaking up in a room of people where they may not have the right decision, but they have to be willing to voice their opinion, and there needs to be a corporate culture where people are encouraged to speak up.
See, again, there are a couple of other things. There are such great sound bites, Stephen, what you're saying. I want to talk to you about a little bit about being a manager and a mentor at the same time. And you also mentioned culture. That plays such an important role in anyone to be a mentor or a mentee. That company's culture has to allow for people to be vulnerable and go to their managers and say, I need help here. I am struggling. Please help me. Talk to me about how did you play that role as a manager and a mentor both?
So as managers, everybody in organizations is a doer. Everybody is looking to execute. Everybody's very, very busy. But to become a better manager, you have to become a better listener. And I think back to what I did on a day-to-day basis, particularly when I was in the office and not traveling. I was brainstorming. I was walking into people's offices and trying to help them understand what challenges they were having. Face-to-face communication, counseling, providing advice. And I think that's really important because people, if they're in their offices or in their cubicles, they're very much alone, and they really embrace being able to interact and brainstorm and offer different solutions to solve problems.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great point there. Okay, so Steve, you are our first founding member of our brand new and very strategic and very important initiative called Global Mentorship Institute. Tell me why now is the time to introduce GMI, which I know you believe in.
So there are a couple of reasons. The jury's still out as to what the world's going to look like, the working environment's going to look like post-pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I know there are debates out there between in the office 100% of the time, hybrid, and working from home. But I truly believe that mentorship involves face-to-face communication, face-to-face problem solving. And I believe that now is the time, more than ever, where people need good mentors to be able to take them to the next level of leadership and management.
Absolutely. And you also mentioned that in your career, when you were given a role that you were not very comfortable with, you were able to take that on and that risk and take that bigger opportunity because you had set of mentors who were going to help you. So that is what the mentorship actually does. It not only helps you find your blind spots, but also you can take on opportunities because you know somebody's got your back, right? As a mentor. So that totally makes sense. Now, Steve, you retired, I think, 2020 from Steers, right?
Correct.
I always love what you told me in our first meeting, that you still have a lot of gas left in your tank. And I love when executives tell me that, because basically what you said to me is that you're willing to pay it forward. You want to help. You want to be a mentor. Since you have retired, what's the big plan for you now?
Well, my first plan was to take 6 months from working 24/7 and just decompress. I will admit that COVID, or the pandemic, extended that period by about another 12 months because companies were so focused on working remotely and building their technology to make sure they could operate their business in a pandemic environment. So for me, I have a desire to give back. I have a desire to expand my network beyond the network I built over the past 30 years. And I am a passionate believer in mentorship because mentorship helped me with my career. And I also believe that I added value as a mentor to the women that I mentored, both within Cohen & Steers and outside the organization.
I love that. I'm going to do a little bit of a marketing plug here, Steve. I know in our first conversation, you were all in, and you have been all in about everything that we're doing here at Wings, and we so deeply appreciate that. Talk to us a little bit about why Wings and why GMI for you now.
Well, I think part of it, Varsha, is you and the platform, because over the past 7 years, you've built a very impressive foundation and mentoring platform through Wings for Growth. So this is not a startup. This is a well-established platform, and that by launching the Global Mentoring Institute, you and I hope others believe that the Global Mentoring Institute can take Wings to the next level and have a very significant impact on promoting women in leadership positions globally. And that's what companies want. That's what builds better culture and better diversity.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And for our listeners, I wanted to let everyone know that Global Mentorship Institute is about professionalizing and institutionalizing mentorship at the highest level that will help us deepen mentoring culture in the organizations. And we have some amazing mentors like Steve who are going to help us and our nonprofit to further our mission and help our businesses. So Steve, thank you. This has been a pleasure. And I'm so looking forward to be working with you. And I so appreciate your support and your encouragement for the work that we are doing, which you're now part of.
You're welcome. Thank you, Varsha.
I hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you're ready and willing to be a mentor or be mentored by amazing Wings mentors, then what are you waiting for? Head over to www.wingsforgrowth.org and sign up. And stay tuned in for more of such exciting discussions. Talk soon.